What's up, guys? I'm super excited on this journey that we're going to go on together, forming a brotherhood of men as we try to reclaim biblical masculinity as culture in the world tries to castrate us, if you will, make us eunuchs, tell us to sit down and shut up. As we try to find our identity as a Christian man, what does that even look like? What's it mean to be a follower of Jesus? Jesus stressed in his teaching how important it is that we not only know his words, but follow and trust and obey his words. It's pretty remarkable. If you ask people to tell you what Jesus even taught, you are going to get tons of answers. Much of them are at conflict with each other. So as we read last week in Luke chapter 6, Jesus said some pretty pointed things. He said, "Why do you call me Lord, Lord, and you don't do what I say?" So my question to you, to us, do we even know what he said? In the Great Commission, he tells us, as we go into all the world and we are creating disciples, part of that is to teach them all that Jesus taught. So we're going to take some time here and we're going to look at, what did Jesus teach? Now, I'm not elevating Jesus's words over the rest of the New Testament, but what did Jesus actually teach in his own words? He has 7 sermons in the New Testament, or discourses, that he preached. And he has 7 sermonettes or small discourses in the book of Revelation. So a total of 14 sermons that we're going to take a look at together. Because he says, whoever hears his words, knows his words, applies or acts on, it said in Luke 6, he who acts on Jesus's teachings and applies it to my life, I am like a man who digs down deep to build a solid foundation. And when the torrent comes, the best English word we have today to describe that word is the tsunami. Men, when that tsunami comes, our house, your family, your marriage will be able to stand. But if I hear his words, or I don't know his words, I can't act upon his words. And when the storm comes, my house is going to collapse. And you may be there right now. You may be in the middle of it. So I encourage you to stay with us on this journey of looking at what Jesus actually taught. But there's one other thing we're going to do differently. You're not going to come every week and kind of me teach you what Jesus taught. What we're going to do is you're going to read, and you're going to come back next week ready to share, what did Jesus' teachings speak to you? And more importantly, how are you going to act upon it? So we're going to start with his most famous sermon called the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew chapter 5, chapter 6, chapter 7. Now, what I want to do right now to build a little bit of context, remember, prior to John the Baptist showing up on the scene, God had not spoken in 400 years. We know that when Jesus was 12, he already understood the teachings in the Old Testament of God in a profound way. What does that mean, Jim? That means he's going to church, the synagogue, and watching these religious leaders twist God's word, mistreat God's people, and really doing it wrong, for the lack of a better term. He didn't start preaching these messages that we're going to read until he was 30. So he had 18 years of continuing studying, seeing how these religious leaders were misrepresenting God the Father and hurting God's people, and praying and waiting on the Father to say, okay, son, it's time to teach. That's the context. So Matthew 5, 6, and 7, read it. Write down some of the nuggets. There's going to be a lot there. And we may camp out there for a couple of weeks. Write down, what is he teaching you and how you're going to apply it. See you guys soon. Have a great day.